Hey everybody, I'm Rockin Robbie Billups.
And I'm John Hammertime Holshoe.
And we are the Pop Culture Philosophers. And today, this is our review of X-Men Apocalypse.
I was really excited for this movie. As you know, I'm a big Gambit fan.
He wasn't in the... Alright gang, we watched X-Men Apocalypse tonight. Overall, I thought it was okay. It's not the worst X-Men movie by far, but it's definitely by far not the best X-Men movie ever. I thought it was kind of mediocre. It was okay, like it's watchable. It's just not all that it could have been, especially from a giant Apocalypse fan. Hammertime, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I don't understand why. Before we went in, I heard some negative things. Nothing specific. I didn't read any reviews. Went in, really enjoyed the film. I'd say it's my favorite X-Men film below Days of Future Past.
So, knowing that Days of Future Past is your number one favorite Marvel film, much less X-Men film.
It is.
It's your second favorite X-Men film. You think it's better than X-Men, X2, Last Stand, First Class, and not Days of Future Past?
Yeah, I would... Let me rethink this, because maybe I would put X2 above it. But I really enjoyed the film. I don't think it was bad.
The moment we walked out of the theater, John said he liked it better than Civil War. I'm throwing you under the bus right now, but how do you still feel that way?
I do. I did enjoy Civil War, but as I don't know if I've said this in the past, we heard it on the podcast, my favorite Marvel properties happen to be X-Men. I love the X-Men. So I do have an X-Men bias, and I'm just saying, oh, I like this because it's X-Men, and it's automatically better because it's X-Men. That's not the case at all. I just love the X-Men. I like seeing the X-Men on film. I like Bryan Singer's take on the X-Men. I just really enjoyed the film.
All right. I thought that, there are things that I like about the movie. Like, I'm not saying that this movie is trash. I actually do like this movie, kind of. It's just... It's not, I don't know, man. It's not the best stuff. What do I like about the movie? I really like Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. I thought he was amazing. The way they did the voice when he gets super excited or he gets really mad. Like, when he gets hype, his voice gets all layered and weird and reverby, and it's just super, super cool. Everything they've built shall fall. And just every time he talks, it's just... I was enamored by Apocalypse, but I didn't feel like he was that big of a threat. And I feel like, we get back to what I really like about the film. I thought that the Cyclops Jean stuff, that was kind of fun, but it was, I don't know, it was kind of rehashed stuff, stuff that we have seen in X movies before. But I did like Apocalypse a whole lot. I thought it looked gorgeous. Like the effects, the big finale with Magneto launching up all the stuff from the earth and the magnetic fields, and it looked phenomenal. It wasn't a bad film. I think Quicksilver was really good in the movie.
Love Quicksilver.
Really, really good. What are some of the absolute best parts of this movie? And another thing I really liked in this movie, real quick, Storm. Like Storm, she didn't have a lot to do in the movie, but what she did do was better than anything that had been done with Storm in cinema before. I thought it was fantastic. The costumes looked great. That's another thing that I really liked. The costumes, through and throughout, pretty much, were just awesome, especially at the end of the film. What did you really think stood out from the movie?
Like you said, Storm, I think she was awesome in the movie. I thought her powers were done very well. I thought she looked awesome. I love the mohawk. I love that classic look. Oh, yeah. I loved it. I thought she was great. Yeah, I wish she had more of a part. In the trailers, I thought she had more of a part. But of course, being one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse, they each get a much smaller part. But I really enjoyed her in the film. And Quicksilver, again, stole the show.
Yeah.
Quicksilver was so great. If you like Quicksilver in the last film, you're going to love him in this film. And overall, I enjoyed the storyline. And I feel for Magneto.
Okay.
Here's somebody who's a bad guy, but I just feel so much sympathy for. And it's hard not to like him because... ultimately, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's put in a bad situation. Mm-hmm. And he's had some terrible things happen to him over and over in every single X-Men movie.
I got you there. So, things we didn't like about the film, and you were talking about Magneto. One of the things, in fact, the number one thing that I did not like about this film is it's yet again another X-Men movie about Charles trying to save Eric. It's Professor X trying to save Magneto. It's again him trying to convince Magneto not to unleash his vengeance on the human race. Even with Apocalypse in the mix. That's still the overall plot in this movie, and the plot of basically all 6 X-Men films. I would love for them to do an X-Men movie without Magneto. Or even Mystique, for that matter. Like, Mystique was alright in the movie. I understand that Mystique and Magneto, like, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, those are the 2 big names that they have right now.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that. But the X-Men it's never been a Magneto and Mystique story. And I really like the previous X-Men films, like Singer's first 2 X-Men films and Days of Future Past, because it is about Magneto and Xavier. But in this one, I just felt like Magneto having too much time and Mystique having too much time led to everybody else having no time. So it was fun to see Cyclops and Jean and Jubilee and Nightcrawler learning everything and all that stuff, but like, that didn't have enough time to develop. Right, especially Jubilee, right? Don't make a big deal out of Jubilee being in this film. If Jubilee's not in this film, I'm just going to say that real quick. But like Storm, Psylocke, Angel, they called him Angel. He's Archangel. That's fine. I love Archangel. I love Apocalypse. Apocalypse was done so supremely perfect, but Archangel was barely there, and same thing with Psylocke. They were henchmen. But if you look at the other X-Men films, look at the first X-Men film, the same thing happened there. Sabretooth, Mystique, and Toad were all just henchmen. They had like 1 or 2 lines here and there. So I don't fault them for that. Psylocke's costume looked really goofy to me in the actual, like, in the movie. It looks so stupid. Like, I understand it's comic book accurate from the early 90s, I guess, but like, it just didn't fit. And especially since she's one of the Horsemen, and Archangel, Magneto, Storm, they have some badass costumes that Apocalypse makes for them, because he's actually a really good costume designer.
Oh yeah.
He really is. And but like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, their costumes looked kind of thematically the same and hers did not at all. It just stuck out like a sore thumb. The action was great, but I just felt like there was so much going on in the movie and they were just rehashing stuff that we've already seen. Even the Quicksilver scene, which is great and is super fun, it's not as good as the scene from Days of Future Past at all. And that's just what I think. Like, some of the things I didn't like about the movie. I didn't like, it just started out really kind of bad at first too. Like, but it got better. But overall, I would think that because there's so much ground that's being retreaded, it gets a little boring, a little dull. Like this video and me ranting right now. So I'm going to throw it back to John. What did you not like about the movie?
Now, you're going to have some retreading because you restarted the series.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they reset it after Days of Future Past.
And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah,
they did it. They did a reboot without actually
retreading.
Yeah.
My complaint was Jubilee. They didn't say she was really in the film, but literally you could blink and miss her in the film. So she could be in the film more. Bryan Singer did say she had more scenes, including one where she used her powers that had to be cut. So unfortunate that we missed that. I didn't. You're right. As cool as Apocalypse is, he is not nearly as imposing as he is in the comics. But maybe they were trying to ground him a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
And I don't really have any other. I really can't. I can't think of complaints. I'll bring up another thing I did like that I forgot to mention was Kurt Wagner. I forgot. I really did like Nightcrawler, and I love the '80s style that everybody's rocking.
I love that he's got the Michael Jackson jacket.
He's got the Michael Jackson jacket, and he's got. You notice his hair?
Oh yeah, he's got the little blue streak.
Yeah,
in it.
it looks great. Yeah, he's got the streak.
The costumes look great in this movie, like especially the ones they get at the end. And Cyclops has this little sash thing or whatever.
Straight up.
Mystique has the. I like the fact that they even put Mystique in a costume at all in this movie. Like, to be honest, I think that's great. Big thing. Like, the movie is okay. It's entertaining. It's not the best X-Men film, but it's not the worst. My favorite thing about this movie actually is the crack they make at X-Men 3 in this movie. When they're watching Jedi, they're talking about Empire and the original, and they're like, well, Jean says, can't we just all agree that the third one always sucks? Don't forget that Apocalypse itself is basically a part 3 as well. The next one's going to be in the 90s. That's what we thought about this movie. John really liked it. I liked it all right. I thought it could have been a whole lot better. I thought it was just too much stuff in it. It's kind of ambiguous as to what really is Apocalypse doing. Like, why is he trusting Magneto to do this crazy thing when he launched all the nukes right? If he really wanted to destroy the world, well, there's your shot, buddy, right there. Just anyway, we can pick this apart. You can pick any movie apart. It doesn't matter. John, overall, final thoughts on the movie and a grade. We're going to start doing a grade system on movie night. So like A, B, C, D, F. Don't say D. What do you think?
I give it an X. No, I would give it a B.
B.
As far as
a solid B.
A solid B. Am I going to put it up as one of the greatest films of all time? No, but I'm going to compare it to other comic book films.
Okay.
So as far as comic book films go, I give it a B. My favorite film of all time? No, but I enjoyed it. Again, Michael Fassbender as Magneto, magnificent. Of course, Sir Ian McKellen also did a great Magneto. It's just an all-star cast. Would it have been as powerful or as great if you didn't have this great cast? Maybe not. You know, I'm not going to say it's without flaws, but I really enjoyed the film, and maybe my expectations were lowered because of the stuff I heard, you know, beforehand. Yeah. But when I went in, and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun all around.
I had a decent time watching it. I felt it dragged. I felt it was a little bit boring just because it was the same story that we've gotten over and over and over again in X-Men films. But I do think that it was kind of a big, cool spectacle to see, and I thought Apocalypse was great. Oscar Isaac, kudos off to, like, hats off to him, because he is absolutely fantastic in that role. And I just forgot, before we sign off, we didn't talk about Wolverine's cameo yet. I was super excited to see Weapon X in this film, but I really thought he kind of looked doofy when he actually got revealed, and it just, they wanted to make him like super crazy and like ripping people apart, but they were afraid to show it in any kind of bit. I thought X2 did a really good job of showing him like killing people and making it ferocious, but not really going too far. But in this one, they just, dude, Weapon X apparently just does not work in live action. Like, I don't know. What do you think about Wolverine?
It doesn't work in a non-R film. You remember that X2, you see more of him slashing people up, but there's never any blood. Here you see him going to slash people, and then off screen you see blood splatter, almost like an edited Friday the 13th. So there's a balance there, because I think if you did Wolverine correctly and showed him, you know, like in the comics, it would be pretty graphic, because he does have just, I mean, they're basically a bunch of knives.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
So it would be pretty graphic. I was excited to see him in it. Even if he's in it for a little bit, I was excited to see him in it.
I also hate how this movie does not elaborate on the Mystique is actually William Stryker thing. Like, apparently just, it doesn't matter, it's 10 years later, who cares? Also, Havoc, Beast in this movie are supposed to be in their 40s.
They aged very well.
And Xavier's supposed to be in his 50s, like late 50s.
Some of the mutant powers are not aging, I guess.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's just nitpicking. We had a good time watching the movie, as always, because that's what PCP is all about. Getting together, having fun, watching movies, and sharing storytelling and mythology. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please do like, subscribe, and share this video. And let us know down below, what did you think about X-Men Apocalypse? Big dud or big deal? Let us know down below. And I've been Rockin' Robbie Billups.
I've been John, Hammertime Holshoe.
And we are always the Pop Culture Philosophers. Thank you for joining the Army. Catch you on the next video.